Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Thank
And thanks so
you.
much for having us.
I'm excited to have you guys on. I love what you guys are up to, and I love the product. I got to be able to test that out, and it is amazing. I love the flavor of it, and just all that good stuff. And I'm excited to hear your guys' story. I'm excited to dive into everything in the world of mushrooms and much more. So, but before we do, how did you guys get into what led you to what you're doing today?
Yeah. So we'll start from the beginning here. Jake and I go way back. We are actually cousins, so we have known each other for quite some time. I've known Jake his whole life. This all started actually during COVID. The first day of lockdown, Jake and his friends were skiing and they skied past the mountain being locked down, and he got into a really bad ski accident and he shattered his leg. And he's all good. He can walk now. He's hiking. He's doing all the things. I always have to tell people that because they get really scared. But he was like basically incapacitated. He couldn't really walk, and he had to move in with his family. And simultaneously, in less dramatic news, I was furloughed from my job working in hotels. So I was like, I'll come hang out with you and your fam. I will help take care of your leg. And I ended up moving in with him and his family for a while. And during that time, I read this book that really inspired me about mushrooms. And I was talking to Jake about it. And we thought that we had come across this wellness secret, this health secret that no one was talking about. And I asked him if he wanted to start growing mushrooms with me. And without hesitation, he said yes. So we started growing mushrooms and really just falling in love with mushrooms, learning all about them and applying them to our own lives and giving them out to our community. And we started seeing the benefit that this was having on our lives and on our loved ones. And while we never intended to start a company, it just kind of naturally unfolded because we wanted to share these benefits with our community. And Jake, do you want to maybe say how we ended up with the rest?
Yeah, definitely. So, once we discovered the incredible benefits of these mushrooms, we wanted to take them and we wanted to share them. So we actually went online and did some market research of all the different products. At the time, all the mushroom products out there were very like ceremonial and very kind of like, for lack of a better word, kind of hippie-esque. And it was all like powders and tinctures and pills and nothing that tastes good. And everything was just very like, you got to be really in it to be taking this stuff. And, we were coming from the outside. So we wanted to, we wanted to demystify mushrooms because it seemed very mystical and a lot of people were still very afraid of mushrooms. So our goal was to create a product and a brand that kind of could make mushrooms more approachable, a little more fun, a little more easy to take. And that's why we went with the gummy. So we wanted to make a delicious, easy way to take your mushrooms every single day, because studies have also shown that taking mushrooms long term daily actually has a more significant impact. And so we wanted to just build this product to be something so easy and so fun that you actually want to take your mushrooms every day. And that's how Troop was formed. And the name Troop actually means a group of mushrooms is a troop. So we kind of did that. We named it that because we wanted to build community into this, because we built this business for our community to share these mushrooms with people. So we really wanted to build community into it from the start. And yeah, that's the beginning.
I love that. And I mean, I think you guys executed very well. I mean, they are very, when you look at like mushrooms, and I've been taking medicinal mushrooms almost 10 years, and it's like, pure, well, if actually longer. But you take a chaga and put that in some water and drink it. It's just like, all right, this is
Yeah.
like mud water here. Okay.
Yeah.
I just got to get used to that. And But I had a patient I was working with, and was going through cancer, and she wanted holistic support with everything. And so I was like, okay, let's do this and this. And I said, here's a blend of mushrooms I'm going to recommend. It's going to be like mud water. Just hold your nose and just drink it. It's not going to be fun. You can do an elixir, it's a little of this. And she's just like, because she did it, she was a trooper for it. But she's like, this stuff is just wow. I was like, I got to blend. I'm trying to blend this into things, and it's still rough. I'm like, I know it just is what it is, but to be able to take it in a different form where you do enjoy it, and you're just like, oh, cool. Like, even for me, sometimes I was like, did I take those 2 gummies today? I don't know if I did. I'm like, let me go hurry up. And I don't think I did. And I'm
let me just take some more.
And that's what I said. I was like, even if I did it, they taste really good anyhow. It's like a little treat for me anyhow.
Yeah.
So I think you guys executed really well. And I was going to ask you about the troop thing, and I love how that is just a colony of mushrooms there. When it comes to that, love to ask you guys. And then it's probably hard to not say hard to answer because there's just so many different benefits of it. But what's your favorite mushroom?
My favorite is lion's mane for the moment. First of all, I love the product. I mean, I love all of the products we created, but I think this one is like maybe edging a little forward for me right now. But I love the mushroom itself. And the reason why is because it helps shield your brain from cognitive decline, and it protects your brain from neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. And dementia runs in our family. We have someone right now who's really just kind of on the last end of it, and it's really horrible to see. And I have always kind of like, when I learned about dementia when I was super young, I thought to myself, what a horrible, like, evil illness to live this whole beautiful life and then forget it and forget the people who made it so amazing. And so for me, I'm like, if I can take it every day, it's on my desk. If I can take something to help mitigate that risk, then that's a no-brainer for me.
I love it. Yeah. Lion's mane is one of my top ones too. For brain neuro, anything that's neuroprotective, I'm like all in. So
totally
I hear you on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about for you? How about for you, my brother?
For me, my favorite is reishi. So reishi, that's another one of the product that we created. I have suffered from insomnia, like anxiety related insomnia, for pretty much as long as I can remember. I used to sleep for 4 or 5 hours a night every night for probably like 15 years straight. And I didn't even know it was a problem until like the last few years when I started to treat it. And it caused such a massive impact on my life. And it's still something that I struggle from. And I still have times where my anxiety will not let me sleep. And I just have those racing thoughts for hours where I'm staring at the ceiling and thinking about tomorrow and today and the future and the past and everything. And reishi has been such a huge help with that. When I take reishi, I feel this like sense of calm in my body, like a physical sense of calm. And it like removes this physical anxiety feeling from my body that, because I'm so used to it, I don't even know I'm feeling. So it's like kind of interesting because when I take the reishi, it's like it removes something I didn't even know was there, didn't even know was present. And it just feels so good to be relaxed, and I get amazing sleep on it, and I have vivid dreams, and it's really great. And I know that it's also really protective for my immune system. And it's like has anti-aging properties. So it makes me feel really good to take reishi. And I take it, every night, like around, not late, but like around like 7, 8 PM. And it just removes like a lot of the stress from the day, and it feels really great.
I love that. And that's one of the cool things about mushrooms, right? When you take a mushroom or a blend, and it's like, let's just stick with one, right? You mentioned reishi and lion's mane. And it's never like just one thing. Like It doesn't just take care of like, oh, this is just going to be for this. It's like, no, it does this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then some of them have like 50 different other health benefits with it. Yeah. And it's just like, that's what fascinated me about mushrooms. When I was like, wait a minute, they got this thing's called medicinal mushrooms. Let me look this up. And then I started learning the history of them and how long they've been around, when they got cultivated. And I was just like, wow, these things are powerful. Why are we not knowing more about this? And this was like 15 years ago. And I still, the way you guys were sharing your story, how people are still kind of like, questioning mushrooms and stuff. I'm like, it just tells me that we're not even there yet. To where it's more, you see them now in stores a lot more.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I haven't, like, a lot of patients I talk to aren't saying, yeah, I'm taking all these different, I heard about these medicinal mushrooms and, blah, 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 blah. When it comes to utilizing or getting out in the masses more.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think we definitely live in a bubble here. We live in Southern California in LA, and a lot of people here take mushrooms and know about mushrooms. But even still, when we go to the grocery stores and do demos, I think at least 50% of the people ask us if it's psychedelic at these health food stores. And we're just like, no, we're not selling you drugs at Erewhon. So, it's when we go do those demos, it's really almost humbling to see while we are in this bubble and this is our world and everyone around us knows it, there still is a lot of educating to do and informing to do, especially not just here, but all across the country where the health information gets disseminated, I think that's the word, disseminated a lot slower.
No, I totally, yeah. I think there's hotspots for it, and it's one of those things. It's funny how those people think it's more of these are psychedelic mushrooms, or these medicinal in their realm. And sometimes I was telling my wife this. We have a 21-month-old, and I always tell her, I'm like, why are the mushrooms that they always put in kids' books the psychedelic ones? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's the red ones with the white dots. And she's like, I don't think so. So I was like, I thought it was just maybe I was just being aware of like maybe a couple. But every time I see mushrooms in a kid's book, it is always the psychedelic ones. And I'm like, I don't know why they choose it. Maybe because it's just pretty. But then again, if you have a chaga, that doesn't look that pretty. So I don't know if you guys agree. I mean, for me, I've seen chaga. I'm like my question is, who saw that on a birch tree and said, that looks tasty, I would love to eat some of that?
Totally. It's a mass growing off of a tree. It almost looks like you wouldn't want to eat that.
But it does look like a medicine, like I can imagine 2,000 years ago, like some tribes living in the woods that have been testing out all the different herbs and mushrooms in the area for thousands of years in their culture would see that and be like, this is a powerful medicine.
And I think back then too, they had a different sense, not like humans are today. We like mentally go through things like, let's look at the chemistry and see if we can actually have this. I think for them, it was more of like an intuition to know. And then you can feel the energy of chaga. Because I love chaga. I mean, even though I said lion's mane is my favorite, chaga is like right there because it's just I think it's the most known antioxidant out there when it comes to ORAC level.
The most potent source of antioxidants of any food. Yeah.
You just can't beat that. That's one of the big reasons why I take it. And it's like, in all the other things that come with it, and it's just I know you guys have your company. I know you have you guys, and you showed lion's mane. You're talking about reishi. That's the one that we do. I tested out. Do you guys also stack mushrooms too in with your company, or is it just single like only?
No, we have what Steph's showing right now is the 6 mushroom blend. So that has chaga, cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, maitake, and turkey tail. So that's like, and it's funny, you mentioned earlier, like that they have so many benefits. So we put those 6 mushrooms in the bottle, and it was honestly really hard to decide which benefits to list on the bottle because we didn't have enough space to list all the benefits. We had to choose some to focus on. So we had to choose one benefit per mushroom, which was really hard. So, it is, it's a powerful blend.
So my question is then, out of all the mushrooms that are out there, why those 6? Was it just because, what was the reason behind it?
We wanted to work with these 6 mushrooms because they have the most literature and research around them. And it's also what people are seeking. And as we continue to grow the company, we definitely want to be putting out more mushrooms, more mushroom products as more research is being done and more mushrooms are even being discovered. So we just always want to be at the cutting edge and leading the mushroom industry with the most well-researched and powerful functional mushrooms.
I love that. Is there, when it comes to, I had a thought about mushrooms now and how many to put in, and I forgot. Are you guys looking at putting more mushrooms together? Like for example, no, let me take a step back. So when I was thinking about, for the listeners, where do they begin? Because the mushroom world is, if they go look, what medicinal mushroom should I take? There's just a gazillion of them out there. Is there a certain way or a certain approach that you guys usually say, hey, start here or try this? Maybe the six super troop, right? That's what you guys called. Is that where somebody would start out, or what do you guys normally recommend?
First place I would recommend is checking out our website. That's where you're going to get, we give a lot of really good and very simple information on each mushroom. And that's at trytroop.com, trytroop.com. That's where we always say to start. And as for a product, I would often say start with the Super Troop, the 6 mushroom blend. So that's going to just give you a dose of all the different mushrooms. That's always a great place to start if you don't know what you're looking for. And if you don't have a specific benefit in mind, a lot of people do have a benefit in mind, like they want focus. So they would start with lion's mane, or they want, anti-anxiety. So they'd start with reishi. So basically function specific way to start. These mushrooms are the most researched and most well known. So I would definitely always recommend starting there. But we have a really comprehensive blog where we cover a lot more mushrooms than just these 6. So if you are interested, I would say go there to learn more. Start with just learning about these 6 is a lot. There's so much. So I would definitely say start there and then just keep exploring. Like, the world of mushrooms is so massive. It's a universe. And if you're interested, I would say that's a great place to begin.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, because it's one of those things where I know sometimes people would be like, they get a little, as you guys already know, they get a little nervous and I don't know. And then they go and type in medicinal mushroom and then they find all these different ones. And then they're like, oh man, I don't know where all that, because that's what happened to me when I first learned about mushrooms. I was like, reishi was the one I started with. Back then, 2007, 8, they were promoting it in coffee way back then. This wasn't Four Sigmatic, but although Four Sigmatic came out roughly around that time frame, getting popular. And so I was like, wow, there's this mushroom coffee. I'm like, what's this? Reishi? And then I read all the benefits and I'm like, that's cool. And so my mind's like, there's got to be more than one out there. So I started looking, right? And then I'm like, oh, I need to get that one. I need that one. Oh, lion's mane. Yes, I want that. Turkey tail. Oh, can't pass up. Turkey. Cordyceps. Yes, I love stamina. I love, challenging myself. I'm like, yeah, let's go that route. So then I'm like looking and I'm like, next thing you know, I'm like 15 deep and I'm going, all right, there's no way I could take all these. I'm going to get sick to my stomach. I'm not going to eat anymore because it's just all powders. Everyone's telling me, so, but basically I love it. Simple, easy, start with these and you work your way in. And then maybe from there, they look at other things like you were sharing, like focus or anti-anxiety. And you guys have them. I already know you guys have some single strain ones. Strains, is that the word? I don't know. Did you guys call it strains or types of mushrooms?
Species.
Species, I apologize. So single species, where is it just those 2 or you guys have other ones also?
Those are our 3 products right now: the lion's mane, the reishi, and the Super Troop.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I said, I've been taking lion's mane is part of my nootropic package that I use, packs and stacking and all the stuff I use. So I just love it for focus and I'll have to tell you guys all about it, but because you guys are the experts on this stuff. So
well, we love to hear it.
Yeah, lion's mane is just that one where I combine it with some other, other nootropics because sometimes like if I have caffeine, I do drink coffee, but it's usually decaf. By the way, I had caffeine today. If you know me, you're like, my wife's like this morning, she goes, you had coffee this morning, didn't you? I said, well, I always have coffee. She's like, caffeine. I was like, yeah, I know, you could tell. But when I blend it with lion's mane, though, what will happen is my focus isn't scattered. For some reason, like everyone says caffeine's caffeine, and I go, caffeine is not caffeine to everything. Because like if I have coffee caffeine, that makes me very like, I bounce around. My mind will just be like all over. But if I take it with lion's mane and a couple other things, all of a sudden, I don't get the bouncing around effect. I don't get the anxious, like my nervous system's revved. I can stay calm and focused, and I can really channel that energy.
Totally.
And then I'll throw reishi in there also, and something else I put in there.
That's what I do. I do that exact same thing. Because coffee for me it's not necessarily something that I depend on, but I love the taste and it's a ritual. And I'm like, I don't want to sacrifice the things that I love in my life that bring me joy. So how can I actually make this work for me? And so I do the same thing. I have it with lion's mane and with reishi. And I agree, not all coffee and not all caffeine is created equal. Sometimes I'll go somewhere and get a coffee and it makes me feel like I'm crawling out of my skin. And then sometimes I have it and I'm like, I can do anything. It's like, it's actually such a drug. It's crazy. But I make it work for me.
And I always tell people too, like you got to figure out how that works and what works for you and so forth, because it's like we're all so unique and different. Like my wife can drink, she'll have, depending on her, she can do coffee in a whole different way, and the way her body processes caffeine. It's interesting because if she has too much too quick, she'll have anxiety. She's like, I don't like this. My heart's palpitating and I'm just racing. My minds are racing. I just do not. I took way too much. And if I have too much caffeine from coffee, I'll get sleepy. Because
that will happen to me too.
I'm an undiagnosed ADHD kid. So where, what do they do for kids who have ADHD? They give them stimulants to overstimulate, which actually does the reverse effect and slows them down. And so it's the same thing for me, but only coffee does it. Because if I do like a matcha, which I still put lion's mane stuff in there, or sometimes I'll do a black tea. That has no effect negative at all. I mean, I'll get a good calm energy and it's just beautiful the whole day. But it's only one that I have to keep an eye on is coffee itself, and that's where I like using lion's mane, reishi. I think there's only two I usually will put in coffee, but it makes it taste interesting. I will say that. But I come from where they used to have when greens was extremely popular back like 15 years ago, everybody was like, what's the newest, how many greens can we get into a shake in a scoop to alkalize the body and all these different things. And so the best products out there were the most nasty tasting thing ever. I mean, literally, I'd rather eat. I think soil had a better taste than that. I'm telling you, it was so. I mean, I don't even know how. But so I was like, you get used to it. I'm like, I got to do it. I need these things. And so when it comes to the mushroom, like these are actually not bad compared to that. So I love it. So how can then people find you guys? I know you said the website already, but I'd love to know how they can find you, follow you guys, all the things that you're doing, and learn more from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, like Jake said, is one of the best places to find us and also learn so much about mushrooms and the just fungi and their different applications. And it's super interesting. Trytroop.com. That's TRYTROOP.com. And we actually created a promo code for your listeners who want to give it a try. For 20% off, we created Mindful Experiment 20 to use. And we also have a money back guarantee, so it's pretty risk-free to try. And our Instagram and our TikTok is a place where we're putting out some really fun, educational, silly content. And that's just at Trytroop, TRYTROOP.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys doing that. For all the listeners, take advantage of that. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Like I said, it's for all the years I've been taking mushrooms and using them, great tasting. Like I said, when I forgot, I was like, what the heck? A couple more ain't gonna hurt. Yeah, it's just a little treat. So definitely take advantage of that. And I want to thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate you sharing your wisdom, sharing what you guys do. I think mushrooms is something that I've said this 10 years ago. I've said this 5 years ago, and I'll continue to say this again. It's one of those things that is going to be a new wave in wellness, and it's going to help people in so many ways, because there's just, again, it's not a one-to-one kind of thing. You take, it's more of, here's one thing, but look at all the benefits that come from that. And then when you start playing with them and blending them, then all of a sudden it takes it to, we have 6 mushrooms in one. That's like, I don't know, what is like 50 benefits or more. It's just crazy how much that list goes. So thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much for having us.
Yeah, that was awesome.